G'day legends, welcome to the ISS News, the daily snapshot of content you should be consuming. I'm Anthony Meixner, and with me as always is Adrian Sutter. How you going, mate?
Good, mate, good. Today, headlines. How genes affect gut health. The private space race has just been won by Sir Richard Branson, and France fighting ISIS in Africa. That one I want to know more about. What do we got for the first one?
Okay, so this is a good one. So how genes affect gut health. This is a big one for me, and it's a big topic. So any of you guys and girls, your gut biome affects your mood, weight management, vitamin production, the immune system, a lot of those hormones and serotonin in your brain that makes you feel happy. So stick around for this. Interestingly, many of these neurotransmitters are produced in the gut by trillions of microbes that live there. A large portion of these actually produce serotonin. So that's the thing that makes you feel happy. If you've had a big weekend, you can gain a lot of these stuff from food sources that are readily available, so turkey and stuff like that. Now, your immune system, this is one of the things that if we put too much shit in our bodies and your immune system is turned on for too long, it can create an inflammation response. And this is associated with a fair few brain disorders, including Alzheimer's, depression, and anxiety. So we know that there's a gut-brain axis, and they communicate through this process. And this will help you control feelings of anxiety and fear. So some studies that come about from this was actually a little bit of a derivative on this is that they did a study looking at some baboons in Kenya, 16,000 gut microbiome profiles over 14 years. And they actually showed that not only was environment a big factor, so the things you're eating and the environment that you're taking part in, but there is a very small part to play of heritable genes passed on, or heritable gut biome passed on from your parents. What do you reckon?
Looks good, mate. Yeah, look, we discussed this quickly before we started the show. Science used to say that all of these issues, including anxiety, depression, mental health issues, and going into like the weight gain and your body makeup, was all heritable. So your genetic makeup came from your parents. Therefore, if your parents were overweight, chances are you're going to be overweight. Then, over the past decade, they started to look at that and go, no, it's more epigenetic behaviour. So if your parents ate shit and you eat shit, then you're probably going to look like your parents. And that made a lot of sense too. But I think this, showing that the gut microbiome can be passed on from your parents, meaning that if your parents have gut biome that is prominent to causing obesity, then that may be the reason why you are getting obese. That kind of starts to make more sense to me, and I want to keep tracking this into the future, because we're hearing talk now about your gut microbiome or your gut biota being responsible for either having cancer or your ability to fight cancer. A lot of your immune function obviously is impacted by gut microbiome. Now, if those things, the inflammation in your gut is affecting your gut biome, and that's the piece that you're getting from your parents, maybe we can look at it and go, my parents were overweight, therefore I'm overweight because of my gut microbiome rather than because of my genetic makeup. And the positive for people is that probiotics and prebiotics, you can change your gut flora. So you can't, that excuse of, no, it's my parents, my grandparents' fault, that doesn't fly anymore. The onus is back on you to improve your gut microbiome and get holistically healthy. That's my take anyway. I think it's something we want to track.
Absolutely, and I think it's a the chances now of being able to shift and change that they've done so many studies on how this affects your mood and how important it is, even some of the things like exercise and daylight and your circadian rhythm and how that affects your gut microbiome. All these things located in your stomach, it's the gateway to happiness is through your stomach. I'm telling you, mate, we'll keep this posted. And we've got a whole bunch of studies that we've done with Swissade over the years, but we'll start getting that information now.
Good to go. Story number 2, Virgin wins the space race. Richard Branson shot himself into orbit. He made it to 80 Ks, which was Virgin's classification of the outer space orbit. I know the next one to go will be Amazon, with Bezos going. He's trying to hit 100 Ks. But anyway, the Virgin Galactic spacecraft took off, made it to the 80K mark. Passengers, including Branson, were allowed to unbuckle, float around, get a look at Earth from space. It all sounds cool. It's a great story, obviously. Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are the next two competitors, with SpaceX heading up soon too. So I love it. I love that the human race is heading to space as the new frontier. The iffy part from my end is, are we turning space into a holiday zone for rich people only? And then, again, I don't want to monger fear, but it is starting to look like you have to be a billionaire in order to get on a spaceship and get out of here, which is fine if it's just a holiday that you're looking for. But what happens next when we do get to the point where we need to get off world, or we've found a way to inhabit Mars or another planet? Is it still going to be only rich people allowed? I don't know. I hope not. It's kind of scary because the rest of us poor people are going to be left down here on Earth. What do you reckon?
Better start buying lotto tickets. Mate, I think the start of massive corporations, like they're going to. Where does the line between nations and corporates start to blur? And will World War III actually be fought between Amazon and and one of the other large corporations? Will it be Google versus Amazon in World War III? I'm telling you, where's the line where these corporations get so big and so rich that they are really only held sway by sovereign nations?
Yeah, mate, and that's where we're heading at the moment. Like, people have we're humans are tribal by nature, and we used to pick tribes based on the plot of land that we were born on, and we backed that flag and we're willing to go to guns and kill people over it. I think humans are starting to get a bit kind of over killing each other just for a bit of land, and we've seen it already. Like, you pick a tribe now based on whether you're a Samsung phone or an Apple phone, or whether you want to use Google software or Apple or Facebook or whatever it's going to be. Mate, if these same companies are the ones that are going to be the one first to inhabit space, 100%, we are moving to a world where super corporations are the new countries, and we're going to have to pick which one we like the most and back the horse in that we think is going to inhabit space first. I'm still backing Elon. I reckon he's got space covered, mate. Let us know what you think. Comments below. Have you got yourself a tribe in the tech giant space? And what do you think of billionaires being the ones to lead charge on inhabiting the new frontier?
Right. So story 3, this is a good one. So this is France is fighting ISIS in Africa. Now, they've actually been fighting ISIS for 10 years, or what are they called? Boko Haram, or whatever the fuck they're called. They're a terrorist organization. They're literally an affiliate or like a little sister company of ISIS. Now, the funny thing is that it's actually in Mali where they've been fighting, and they have been in gun battles, probably bloodier than Afghan. France have lost more soldiers in the 10 years in Mali in Africa than Australia has in Afghan. That's relevant. We've just left Australia's largest war. Some of those casualties that France have been suffering has been in single engagements. They've lost 60, 70 soldiers. So they've been in the middle of this. They did pull out because there was a bit of a coup in Africa as it changed. They changed their leadership, as they changed their underwear, and everyone pulled out. France has said, no, look, we've got to get back in there because we don't want to be a failed state. Mali was an old colony of France, or is. I'm not sure if they're still part of that ecosystem. But they're surrounding countries. So there's 5 countries at the moment. It's 5,000 soldiers across 5 countries: Chad, Mali, Niger, and the Czech Republic, Estonia, Italy, and Romania, and Sweden have all said, yeah, we're going to back you. We're going to come in with this coalition. And even America said, maybe we'll come and give you a hand as well. So what my question is this the new Afghan? The terrain's kind of the same. We're talking about large savannas. We know the Bushmaster, the original Bushmaster prototype was pulled from South African vehicles. They haven't got any air superiority. So once again, I feel like this is a cookie cutter template moving out of Afghan, going and destabilising another African country. What do you reckon, mate?
Mate, I agreed. It stinks of well, we'd have to put it the Americans, or not the Americans as a people, but the Democratic Party definitely getting itchy trigger fingers because Trump pulled everyone out of war zones, and now they're like, all right, what do we do? How do we keep defence spending going? Let's pick another fight with a country that's undeveloped like any of those African ones you just rattled off. Mate, I don't know. I don't know if it's just we're getting older and cynical, and I overanalyze the propaganda machine that got me to join the military in the first place. I personally, there's part of me says if there was a gunfight in Africa, I'd love to join the army again and get back over amongst it. But then the logical part of my brain now goes, why? Like, what is the point of going in and killing Australians and Africans? What is the net gain that we get out of picking a fight with Africa? And unless some Western world political structure can pitch that case hard, I'm not going to be convinced, mate. To me, it looks like, and this crosses over with the news story from last week, right? The Chinese are now looking to get into Africa. They don't go in there guns blazing. They go in there economically and buy things and kind of win wars or fight wars economically these days. China's been doing that for a long time in Africa. They've been buying up half of these undeveloped African countries. Now, is this a response to that? Is the Western world finally catching on and going, hey, China for the last 100 years has been buying up the world, and all we've been doing is sending our young people over to die and then getting nowhere in 20 years like we did in the Middle East? Are we now looking at it and going, oh, China might be 5 steps ahead of us, we better go and pick a fight with Africa so that we can get rid of all the Chinese businesses that have popped up? I'm not sure. I think it's got a long way to go, but any news of picking another fight the week after we get out of Afghan seems a little bit suspicious to me. I want to see a well thought through ethical pitch to go, this is why we need to get into Africa.
Well, this was on the cards a couple of years ago for Australia, right? To go in and provide, this is going to sound real similar, security for engineers to go in, and they were going to do mine clearing, right? So the boys are all frothed up, all the boys around in the one, they think they're going to get a gig. Hey, it could be us from 10 years ago. I don't think there was a whole lot of honour and deep down, I don't know what values that drove us to go to Afghan. But the boys would be keen. We put this story on because, hey, is it the same? Do boys just want some trigger time? What's going on? Do we have the guts for it anymore? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Righto, guys. Well, that was the news from the content you should be consuming. Get on, send some comments in, let us know so we can start a conversation about these topics. As always, the research links for all these articles are in the bottom of the post. So go and click and read it and consume the information and let us know what you think. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.